Yeah, I think I just caught a disease touching that book. Do you see the black in there? Yeah, that's probably mold. But hey, they bagged them. There's a reason why they didn't sell them with the $2 price tag on them. Even in this condition, you get 50 cents for some of them. You're lucky. So that's something. You don't need to be selling that. Oh, I felt like saying, there's no one in the world that if you actually gave these to somebody, you obviously don't like them. That's the first thing that I was thinking. No, we just give them to somebody. No, that means you don't like them because this is really. Some of these are really bad, and a lot of them don't have covers. But if there's something that isn't going to kill you, you read stuff without covers. I mean, who cares? Just if you want to read a book. But these things are disgusting. So there may be a couple that I can throw in the 50-cent box, but the rest of them will just get recycled because they're just no good. I mean, she was nice, so it was like you could tell she didn't really know anything about it, But there's somebody these have been in the packages since they were given to me. There should be nothing wrong with them. You can take something something's wrong with, put it in a package. There's still something wrong with it, but some people just don't get that. But no, she was nice enough, and it was nice that she wanted to just make sure instead of throwing them away, they got into someone else's hands because. Don't throw away books, even if it's got no covers. Someone can still read it, but you just can't sell it where it'll kill them. What a shame. But it is what it is. Oh, I just touched that too. Yeah, I'm dead tomorrow. Yeah, into the recycling bin these go.
Nice dissolve.
Nothing too crazy. Shiny. But that was good. I don't know if anyone read that, but I love that. Classic movie. 'Tis the season. It's a good one too. I think that's it. Light week. Looks like Castlevania. Sold. I don't know what it is, but I'm in. I think that's it for today. I always read that. Ice Cream Man. It's a classic. What else is out here? That's good. I haven't read this, but people seem to like it. When it's done, I'll read it. I think there's one more issue. And then this. Something that's coming to children. That's a classic. Oh yeah, this one too. R.L. Stein. Shout out to Goosebumps. Pick this one up. All the covers. Not all of them. Alright, that's really it. I think. Let's see what's on the wall though. We're all gonna die. We don't need money. Buy the comics. Figure it out later. She got killed during the government. I see stuff all the time here that's too much money for me to spend. I buy it anyways. Was not tough in this book at all. It's a dangerous place. Kills herself at some point, It's that's a zombie eater. She's Yeah. So these are next week's books. I'm filing. They get them in before the holiday because UPS doesn't work on Monday. We got them in today, so I'll just file them, get them ready, so I don't have to come in. At all on Monday. So I'll have Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday off. It's going to be pretty damn good. Well, I've already pulled a couple, called a few of them, and they actually say I'll be in this weekend. Sorry, let it go that long, but there's a couple guys that are going to be missing. They're going to be missing from the boxes at the beginning of the year. I mean, someone like him. This is 2 weeks worth of books. So he's not a deadbeat. He just hasn't been in 2 weeks. This right here is like 1 week's worth of books for this guy. So it's this guy here is on his way out. This guy over here is on his way out. Never had a problem with him before, and then he just stopped showing up.
And you can see it's really painterly because he's it's ink
and gray washes throughout.
Well, I mean, you just look at this. You look at the skeleton here, this ghost here, or whatever it is. I could picture that being. I can picture that being a cover painting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what's sort of interesting is this may have been developed before, because this appeared like in the first issue of Creepy. So it may have been developed before they had finally figured out that was going to be the Uncle Creepy character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he has like a astonishing resemblance to Riff Raff.
Hello, Colonel Palace.
From Rocky Horror. Oh, I've had this for years. I don't even know where I used to own the originals, but this is just like a cheesy reprint. I noticed some, I think at the time that Frazetta did this, he was cranking out Conan covers for paperbacks. And you can see, his dynamic composition, the painterly, effects, everything's a brushstroke. He's able to get depth by having the character in the foreground be like in high contrast, the character in the background's in sort of like a washed out gray, where if you see the tree branch is in the same position, and this guy insults him by saying, "Gee, there's a lot of snakes around here. Wouldn't it be better if we circle around it?" So the guy pivots and punches the guy in the mouth. No, but you can see all the force and energy in that, like all the way from down at his ankle through his entire body is behind that punch.
The use of negative space that he's done.
Yeah.
It's just
Nobody draws anything like that in a comic at all. Nowadays, it's all laziness. I mean, there'll be a punch you won't even see. You won't even see something that looks like there's the force of the leg as you're throwing the punch. It's just. And that's it. As a matter of fact, they might not even draw the torso. It's just, they're just headshots and arm shots.
Someone who's reading Death Dealer or Dawn Attack isn't really getting the full frontal Frazetta.
Yeah. Now, did he do a lot of comic stuff, or?
He started out with Funny Animals in
Yep.
the 40s. He did EC Comics, and he had a long stint ghost drawing, I should say, Little Abner for El Cap.
Because most of the stuff that I've seen from Frazetta has all been cover stuff or pin-up stuff. I mean, this was before. What year is this? 1968. I was born in it, so this is before my time. But I'm not even going to compare it to Frazetta. I'm just comparing to the detail of what of what used to be drawn, not even just by Frazetta, to what is being drawn now, and it's mediocre. And most of these guys are using computers now to do it too, where you think you could even get more detailed. I mean, the computer's helping you. This guy was doing it on a storyboard or
spit it the fuck out
on an art paper. It's.
Yep.
So he makes a mistake. You're either erasing it out or trying to ink over it and the mistake, or restarting over. You make a mistake on your computer now. You just hit, oh, wait a minute, undo, and you're back to where you want to be too.
In this case, Frazetta did his own pencils and his own inking and his own wash effects.
I mean, artists today can't get one book out a month because they're so damn slow for the mediocrity. If they did this, they would never get a book out. They'd starve to death. It's they wouldn't get anything out. They'd still be working on page 4 3 years later. I really love the way the ghost here is been drawn, and how it just like it looks like it's been like brushed, like it's actually floating. It's
just so obvious that how much he loved doing this work.
I wasn't around when Frazetta was doing a lot of this sort of stuff. Was he quick? Like, did he get stuff out?
If you were doing a syndicated comic strip, you had to stay ahead of it.
Yeah, these artists right now in comics, most of them couldn't be a comic strip artist, because I don't think they get this shit out every day. It's only 1 3-panel strip. I still don't think they could get half this stuff out.
The only guy I've seen recently working with washes and watercolor effects is I'm probably mispronouncing that.
Carrie Andrews.
Yeah, and
David Mack.
See, I don't like David Mack. I respect what he does, and I think that's not what I like the interiors of my of my comics to look like. Covers and stuff, I like it. So hey, this is something that you should probably have in a big thing sitting up on a wall, or a museum or something. That stuff. A lot of stuff, especially when he was doing his creator-owned stuff. He did stuff where you had to flip the book around to read it, and you turned it over this way, and you turn on.
Steranko. That was a Steranko move.
Yeah, that is shit. That is just what I do not want to look at.
When Steranko came into the world, we were just basically getting over the 6 panels per page thing, right? Where all of a sudden he was doing Shield, and it was just okay. It was all pop art, all this, I wish it was more of that. Then again, I've seen it taken, like you're saying, way too far. Where it's like I like the Sandman stuff, but I'm borderline on the art where you absolutely hate the art.
Right.
Where it probably would have been an easier read if the art didn't get in the way.
I want something that has some detail, but you can see what's going on, and it's not too abstract. And some of these new guys do, they make it look old school with their own twist to it, with a little own twist to it, but you could still, it's clean. You're not looking at what character is this here? I don't know what I'm reading. It depends on the book too. You get some odd Vertigo stuff that's kind of weird or like a horror stuff, and you get a different style of art. Sometimes that's okay. It fits the book, but it doesn't fit your basic. It doesn't fit your basic superhero stuff. That when you're talking Marvel and DC, those are the 2 biggest companies that produce the most comics out of everybody. When you start getting that weird shit for Spider-Man, it just doesn't work. It may work for Swamp Thing. It doesn't work for Captain America. So I just like stuff that's clean. I like it clean. I like to be able to see who I'm doing. I like a little detail to it. I like detail. I like background details too. A lot of things. There's no backgrounds in a lot of books anymore. Someone like Juan Jose Rip, I think he's one of the better artists out there that puts detail into his work. Does a lot of background detail, except he's just finally getting work from Marvel. He's been doing independent work forever. He's starting to get recognized for actually putting out some decent stuff, and he's been working for where he's actually going to make some money with the big guys. That guy puts out the book on time, and he puts all those details in too. With some of these guys, there's no detail at all, and the book is late all the time. So I like clean artwork.
I feel I'm being cheated if I don't get a lot of detail.
Find Waldo yet again. Man, he's just not trying anymore.
The more cartoony looking something is, the less interested I am in it. Even though there's a lot of people who tell great stories, like in a cartoony format, like Scotty Young. I could say, wow, this is a great story, and the style is cartoony, but it really suits the material. But if you have serious superheroes and you're drawing them and they look more like cartoons than illustrations, then it loses credibility.
I agree. I totally agree. Someone to me like Ed McGuinness, I think he's very cartoony. If he did Superman Adventures, his artwork is fantastic. Or he did Hulk for a little while. It's like, all right, this is worse than a Saturday morning cartoon.
There was a Detective Comics that came out in the early '90s that I don't know who the artist was, but it just almost turned me off of Batman completely. It was like 4 or 5 issues, and it was that whole cartoony look and
Yeah.
But going back a little bit to we were talking about the details and stuff and the difference between inkers and artists. How much of the laziness of the inker did we lose on the art? 'Cause I think we were talking about that not too long ago about some of the Kirby stuff that was just, they were like, I'm sick of this guy, and just started inking over a lot of his details because it was just...
Yeah, I think inkers like Vince Coletta did that, and Paul Reinman seemed to do that.
One inker, I forget his name, that I thought did
Joe
Sinnott, yeah. When he inked Jack Kirby's artwork, it's one of the only times I actually said, I like Jack Kirby. I'm not a Jack Kirby artwork guy. I respect that he could put out 15 books in a month, and he drew it, and his artwork didn't suck. I would take Jack Kirby's artwork than 90% of the artwork that's out today. But when Joe Sinnott did the inking, I thought Jack Kirby's artwork was fantastic. It was all the other inkers that I said. So I don't even know. I don't know even if it's laziness of the inker. I just think Joe Sinnott got it.
But just think about how much other art we've missed because of like either not getting it or just downright like we got to get this book out. Screw this and send
but
it.
think of how much art we missed too, or that we thought was actually better because the inker was so good. He made the mistakes of the artist look great.
Absolutely.
I trash on John Romita Jr. all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I like John Romita Jr.'s early stuff. It's when he changed his style or whatever they didn't like. But his artwork looked different in Kick-Ass because the way because they did away the way they washed it and had a different inker and they did another format. It was like, wow, this guy just made Romita Jr.'s artwork look so much better than what that lazy hack does nowadays. Let's not even say he's lazy. I'm not going to say he works a lot. I'm not saying that. But the guy made him look fantastic. But then when he went on and did another book, even after he was doing $4, his artwork was awful again. So I really think the inker made that tolerable.
Well, for current books, Jesus Says, who does Punisher now, has really intense detail.
I find this clean art. I like this art. I'm okay with this artwork.
So to me, having the detail and the lighting makes it more real and more expressive.
Yeah.
And the other recent book by an artist I've never heard of is the new Secret Invasion series.
I haven't even cracked that yet. I've got it.
And it's
I've read issue 1 so far. I really enjoyed issue 1. Yeah.
It's really well written, and there's a lot of detail in the
Yep.
art.
Nope. See again. This is what I consider clean artwork that I like. And again, I'm not gonna say it's better, but you can tell it's different than old school art, which I like the old school art. But again, it's still clean. And you can tell who you're looking at, who's who, what's going on. I don't mind that. This is that's the sort of type of art that I like.
If when you're reading a comic book, you're sort of creating a movie in your mind, the more detail there is to build on, the more realistic it is. The more intense an experience it is.
And who's this artist?
Francesco Mobili, who I suspect is Italian, but not necessarily from Italy.
Somebody could be. I mean, I know nowadays. I mean, some of these writers never even meet the artists because they're from other countries.
Yeah, with the internet and digital files.
Bring me up, boss. Sorry, go home.
And everyone doing
everybody, you can work from anywhere in the world.
Yep. How you doing?
Good, how you been?
Good, thanks.
Yeah, I'm trying so hard not to start collecting the EC stuff. There's so much good stuff, though. Oh,
I'd be happy with just the reprints. A good set of reprints.
Maybe. See, that's the thing. Is like I don't know if I get like the Gladstone reprints is a nice box set. What was this? I think there's 3 or 4 different EC reprints.
Yeah,
right?
there's been
All through the 90s, they did. Remember they reprinted them in those
Gladstone
$2
ones,
books
right?
and
Yeah.
stuff, right? That's how I read most of my EC stuff. It was so that I still think it held up to the test of time too.
It was the New England Comics, their horror line. Were those EC reprints, or were those just made to look like EC reprints?
I don't think they were.
I think it was like Tales Too Terrible to Tell or something like that.
I think they looked like.
They just looked like them. I don't remember.
reprints.
I don't. I have a couple of them. I just never really looked at them that much.
I wouldn't bet you a paycheck that they weren't. But I don't think they were. I don't think they were EC reprints because I think at that time EC was doing, or whatever company was doing EC reprints. Yeah. And it wasn't New England. It wasn't New England Comics.
Some of the bound volumes of those are just incredible. But again,
and there's a lot of Frazetta in those old DC books. Some of it's uncredited. He would help out artists like Al Williamson on finishing the inking on their stories, and he did occasional covers and stuff too.
EC is like the best. The pre-code horror stuff is just unbelievable. And a lot of the lore about the EC books is what I can't remember the senator's name, where the Seduction of the Innocents trials, where they tried to ban comic books because seduction of the innocents.
Most of the examples
most
that
of the
they
examples
showed
they use,
were
like,
from
there's like
EC
100
because they were so
112
grisly.
books, I think, that were actually submitted to Congress, as in, this is, Batman has a young ward. That means he's homosexual. We have to ban Batman, And so they tried to go with all these different angles, but the EC horror ones were the ones like there's the decapitation cover of the hatchet with a head. That's one of the most famous.
The baseball diamond where the different bases were different body parts.
That essentially put EC out of business, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Put a lot of comics out of business.
Oh yeah. Well, that's why a lot of it shifted from superheroes. You started to get romance books and stuff after that too.
That's why the late 50s was nothing but westerns and sci-fi, but not good sci-fi. It was just like, when did Fantastic Four come out? 62?
61, yeah.
And the ironic thing about the EC comics being condemned was that their stories were extremely moral. In those horror stories, only the bad people were punished or got hurt. They had a lot of like civil rights themes before anyone else would even go near it.
Just don't have the money. I would love to have them. Poor grade books are starting around the $200 mark.
It's not hard to sell an original EC comic. There's always someone looking for one.
Like we were talking about a couple of years ago, a year ago, we were talking about it. Like I went flipping through a couple of 1,000 long boxes, and I've never come across an EC just out in the raw in someone's long box that I'm flipping through. Oh. It's like just never. And I think the first EC I ever bought was the Aces High from you, and I finished off the Aces High run, but I'm like, do I want to go into pre-code horror? Like, do I want to go down this road? I'm like, yeah, my kids are gonna have to go to college one day.
I'm ordering lunch over here at Romano's, which again is one of the best pizza places in Haverhill when it's open.
I feel like I've just seen you somewhere.
I think so. Hey, we're promoting your store today while we're filming for the filming thing. Hey, no, come here. You're supposed to take care of me, Katie. We're here. This is one of the best pizza shops in Haverhill. It's coming in, and Katie walks away.
I don't go here.
Can I place an order?
Yeah, we want.
Can I get a bacon cheeseburger on a fresh Syrian with ketchup? Well done.
I'm gonna make it look real good for you, Glenn.
Oh, I know Katie makes a great one for me usually.
You want her to make it?
Yep, she's angry with me now. So.
I'm not angry. Do you want her to make his food?
All right, I guess. What's that? I'm sorry.
Anything else?
Oh, I need a water too, please. Yep.
$14.59.
What's that? You like that? Yeah. Hated daily and loving it. I like this guy back here. This guy's a professional, okay? Yeah. I mean, look, he's got the chef look. Thank you. He's got the chef look and yeah, but I watch you when you're working, man. You were just chopping up, doing things. These guys need to take lessons from you.
Cool. Probably not.
Could you run that over when it's all done?
Sure can.
All right.
Sure
Thank you.
I can do.
All right. Thanks.
Of course.
All right. Yeah, Katie's awesome, but yeah, she doesn't want to be on film. She made it with love. That's quality.
Lee Bermeo book? Are more of these come out? This is like
No, that's the only one. That was the only one.
Oh, great! This
His
fits.
artwork is
This fits
awesome,
back
isn't it?
into the like incredibly detailed art I was talking about earlier.
Now, there's a guy that doesn't do a monthly book, though, because he takes a long time in what he does, and you can see why. But he does do a lot of covers. He does do a lot of cover art.
Look at this. He does the match dissolve sequence with the eyeball. But all this stuff is like almost like photorealism. Mm-hmm. And this has great art, even though I'm not like a Wonder Woman fan. The art is really good.
Yeah, that is really nice. Look at that there.
Yeah. There we go.
She did, I think Nicholas Scott did a Greg Rucka book where it was a witch, but she was a detective for whatever city she was working for, but there was witch things that were going on too.
Is that recent?
He started it, it stopped, a couple issues came out again, and then it stopped coming out. And it never finished. But yeah, she did the artwork in that book, and it was really nice. The story was fantastic. It's usually most of the stuff that Greg Rucka writes is usually good, or it's good for a while. Like he's done Wonder Woman a few times where, I thought the first 10 or 12 issues were good. After that, he just got bored with it. But again, he does Lazarus, which another great book, but another problem. They can't get the thing out on time. Pay stuff out on time, like if he's working for Marvel or DC, that's out on time, but he can't get his own stuff out there. And now I can't remember the name of the book. It was over on Net Rack, so it started with a B, C, or a D at the time. So yeah, I just can't remember. I can't remember the name of the book, but it's been so long since it came out, and it's still in the middle of the story. I won't read it now because it's been that long.
That reminded me of Alan Moore's Promethea book.
Yeah, that book was actually popular when that came out too.
Yeah.
Where's your My Little Pony book? You didn't want to put it out here because we're being taped, and you didn't want the world to know that you're reading My Little Pony.
You're a bastard. You're just making that up.
Come on, have you ever known me to make anything up?
However, if you have any Wendy the Good Little Witch, slide that in.
45, please.
I'll give you a choice. I could give you smaller bills, or I could give you a 50.
Whatever you want out of your wallet.
Get rid of that.
Oh, an old school one too, huh?
That's from the 90s.
Yeah, it is 1990. But again, you don't see. I mean, obviously they're red now, and
obviously it's been laundered a few times.
Yep.
But not by criminals.
Right. So you know. These are returns. These DC made some books returnable for what didn't sell, whatever. But the only way you can get your returns is you have to rip the covers off, and then you take pictures of the covers to show that you've destroyed the book, and the rest goes in recycling. Seems kind of a.
How can they tell it's just the cover?
You tell me.
Well, I would think if it was flat and photographed from above, you might not be able to tell.
I don't know. I've been doing it for a while. It looks like they're ripped when we do have it, So, I mean, I suppose maybe if you do it and you photograph it, I don't know, but the staples are all still there. Yeah.
I don't think anyone's looking at them too closely.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, I don't know if they're actually saying when I put I just took 5 of these. Maybe they're not counting all 5, but they are making sure. But I think they're looking close enough to make sure that there's not whole books. There's not whole books there.
Yeah, I think if you had a stack of just the covers alone, it'd be pretty obvious.
I have to show every cover. So when we put it in the photo, I'll put back. I don't have to show it like this, but I'll do it like that. So you still see the Batman, and then the very bottom one, I'll make sure you can see it incorporated. You can tell there's 6 of them there.
Then takes all the coverless books and puts them in the 50-cent bin.
Nope. They'll go back into recycling. They'll go into recycling, so maybe they'll make another tray. I get no joy of doing this.
Well, I mean, they're being recycled, so
Right.
that's
Right. Right. At least it's being made into something else. So that.